DUTCHSINSE here. 1:55 a.m. Central Time on Saturday, August 11th, 2012. And we're over here on my Facebook page. I want to go ahead and show you guys an article here from CNN, and it has to do with the Louisiana sinkhole. If you don't know what's going on, guys, I've got to bring you up to speed first of all. A few weeks ago, a series of strange geyser-like bubbles were erupting from the bayou down in a place called Bayou Corn, Louisiana, in south-central Louisiana. And people there reported it to officials, and officials said they didn't know what was going on. It could be a gas line rupture, and they basically said, don't worry about it. Well, you move forward a little bit, a week or so, almost 2 weeks, and a massive sinkhole has opened in the same area. Okay? What they did then was evacuate all the people in the area and have told them they can't come back to their houses until they figure out what's going on. All right, and that kind of brings us forward to today. They are being told they don't know what's going on. All right, the officials don't know what's going on, and I want to thank Sheila Alien's video maker here on YouTube for getting this video out of the mainstream media down here in Louisiana talking about the whole story, and locals are demanding answers and not getting any. They're getting talking heads that are basically telling them they don't know what's happening, we're going to have to wait to see, people are still going to be evacuated for a little bit. Okay, the mainline story that we always get from officials. Okay, so here's a shot of the actual sinkhole that's developed, and I want to bring you forward just a little bit in the video here to this. All right, now what they're talking about here is radiation in the sinkhole. What they actually did, and they explain it in here somewhat, which is they actually filled up what's called a salt dome. Geologic structures under the ground called salt domes, and they're huge. And they're just like they sound, they're full of hard rock salt-like material that's able to be liquefied or cleared out with liquids to form a cavity. And then you can pump, they are pumping oil, natural gas, and other materials down into these salt domes for long-term storage. And we're talking millions and millions of barrels, not gallons, barrels of these petroleum products being stored down in these salt domes. Now you're probably wondering, where are they? Well, let me just bring you over to Google Earth here. Okay, we're going to go down to the Gulf Coast, and here's Bayou Corn. I searched it on Google Earth, and this is what came back, so it's somewhere right in here. And let me just show you an example of the salt dome. All right, here we go. These are out to sea, along the sea floor, off the coast of Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana. And there they are, okay? These are the tops of the salt domes that extend off the sea floor. Now, there are several more that go inland. They're actually, I believe, mostly pumping in, filling these. They're not taking out too much. I believe they are filling them, and that's what they talk about when they talk about the strategic oil reserve. They are strategically placing that deep in the earth in these salt domes. Okay? Now, let me take you over to my Facebook page here. Now, the Assumption Parish Sheriff, Mike Wogsapak, said Thursday he is concerned about the sinkhole is close to a well containing 1.5 million barrels of liquid butane, a highly volatile liquid that turns into a highly flammable vapor upon release. And, quote the sheriff, a breach of that well, he said, could be catastrophic. I'll take you back over to the Google image. Imagine this cleared out and stored with liquid butane. Okay? Imagine next to that liquid butane salt dome, there's another salt dome. They occur in succession, just like you'd see here, in a cluster. All right? You're not just going to have one lone salt dome. You're going to have a cluster of. If that butane releases, if this is anywhere close, if this sinkhole is anywhere close to another salt dome full of liquid butane, we have a huge problem in development now. Now, all that bubble off, of course, could be liquid butane. It could also be what was left in that sinkhole of radioactive debris before it collapsed. So, overall, what is causing this, you're probably asking. If you're from Louisiana and you don't watch my videos ever, you probably have no idea what is causing this. So let me just show you, okay? Now this is USGS feed of the most recent earthquakes. I have it turned down over the last 12 hours. Let's look over the last 7 days. And you'll see a series of earthquakes marked across North America. We have our typical West Coast earthquakes, which are picking up in intensity off the West Coast from central California, going right off the coast of Oregon up here, in a fresh lava field that has formed off the coast of Oregon. But you'll see a series of earthquakes that extend from the Pacific Northwest down through Yellowstone, a 3.2, and then going down through Colorado and Texas, and then you'll see another one up here to the northeast. Now, keep in mind, this is just the last 7 days. Now, if you were to connect all these dots, this forms the edge of what's called the North American craton. The craton is the unsubducted plate that exists up here to the north, relatively unmoved over a long period of time. And then you have the deformed edge of the craton that extends out to the sea. And that goes all the way down here through Louisiana and back up here along the east coast. But when you connect these all, this shows that there is movement occurring along the edge of the craton. The craton itself is being pushed from the west. The subduction process, pushing underneath, pushing to the east, is creating stress. And unfortunately, a lot of these locations, for instance, down here at the Colorado-New Mexico border, down here in Oklahoma, also down here in Texas, you can see it on this map, but a series of earthquakes have occurred, all at fracking or drilling or deep earth injection well operations. Why? Because, let me back this out, of what's occurring to the west. In the West Pacific, we have 4, 5, and 6.0 earthquakes occurring in succession every day, and this is just the last 7 days, a huge amount of movement. And it's spilling over to Europe, and it's spilling across up over Alaska, and you can see the spillover effect, the pressure that's building on the North American craton itself due to all the other earthquakes over here to the west. The compensation movement is going to occur. It has to. The Pacific plate is moving. So that's going to create stress at man-made drilling operations, dormant volcanoes, and that's where we're seeing a lot of earthquakes on the west coast, going up the west coast and in the southwest are dormant volcano locations. But that's a whole other video we need to get into there. We're solely looking at man-made drilling right now, and this shows it. Drilling operations, and now the Louisiana salt domes are experiencing the pressure. Now imagine, just for instance, that pressure comes in from the west, or from above, or from below. It could easily create a crack in the salt dome, which would then, over time, fairly quickly, if you release the right amount of gas, cause a massive sinkhole. And that's what all the bubbles were originally, were the bubbles coming out before the sinkhole fully formed. And the sinkhole formed on top of a salt dome that was containing radioactive debris. And next to this dome is another dome, per the sheriff, that contains 1.5 million barrels of liquid butane. Do I think that this is going to collapse further to cause a release of the liquid butane? Well, unfortunately, we don't know how far apart those are. We can see naturally occurring, the salt domes occur right next to each other. Literally, sometimes right on top of each other or overlapping each other. So the real question is, from the authorities, is where is this liquid butane, this massive salt dome that's filled with liquid butane? Where is it? How far away is it? Is it right next to it? If it's right next to it, we've got a massive, massive problem on our hands. If it's a few miles away, we might be okay. We might be okay. But even a few miles, you're looking at, it would need to be fairly far away to not experience the pressure that's occurring along the entire edge of the North American craton. And we're going to see it release in areas where it's weakest first. So, fracking locations, drilling locations, injection well operations, and unfortunately, salt dome operations, which means that we have a big problem down here to the south because there's no way they could ever get all that out. No way. They've pumped way too much in just by the sound of it. That's just my own opinion, okay? So, there you go, guys. That's what's going on. Now, one other thing I would like to touch on really quick since we got Google Earth and the place marks. All the mystery booms and rumbles up here in the north central portion of the craton. If you imagine the edge of the craton itself, going from the Pacific Northwest, just follow all these yellow place marks, down here to the south, and back up here to the north, that puts the mystery booms and rumbles pretty much right in the center of the North American craton. If not the center, center east. And what do all these locations have in common? Well, for instance, North Illinois, at the nuclear power plant here, a radioactive release, a series of mystery booms, and an earthquake recorded. Move forward a few months, radioactive release detected here in North Indiana, mystery booms reported throughout Michigan. And then you get up here to Wisconsin, and you have the Clintonville mystery booms, no nuclear release, but definitely mystery booms reported up here as well. So this is the center of the craton. Now think about it for a second. If you have a large amount of movement happening all along the edge, a series of fairly sizable earthquakes occurring along the edge, you have down here to the south, salt domes collapsing, sinkholes opening. Now, gosh, I mean, I could just keep going on. Another thing that occurred down here in Fort Stockton, Texas. Fort Stockton had a new fault line open, 15 feet deep, several miles long, extending south towards the border. Okay, now, just so happens, down here south of the border, you see this area right here. I put out a video several months ago showing steam plumes erupting from this direct spot, from that volcano. And a series of other spots going all the way down through Mexico and extending up here now into the Pacific Northwest, going up into Nevada. At Mono Lake, California, supervolcano, where in August 2nd we saw a series of plumes erupt. Now we got the military deployed up here at Hawthorne doing water checks, and to top it all off, we have Colorado shut off aquifer access for no real good reason that I can find. Overall, it's a lot to go through, folks, and if you're just watching one of my videos for the first time, I really feel for you, because I'm trying to explain the best I can without going into a 2-hour-long presentation on Earth changes. And unfortunately, you'd have to understand that we're going through a series of large earthquakes and volcanic eruptions globally. And if you're wondering from your local officials if you're ever going to get an answer as to why, you're going to be waiting a very long time for them to give you an answer as to why this is occurring. What I can tell you is that the pressure is going to continue, and you can pretty much expect further collapse, you can expect further salt dome troubles, and we need to find out how close that butane well is to this sinkhole. That's going to determine everything in the near term, trouble-wise, for Bayou Corn. But overall, we're looking at more salt dome releases in the long term until this activity dies out along the West Pacific. And that just seems to keep on going and going and going. Just look at it. I mean, look at the spillover going over into Europe. I mean, just along the line there, I mean, it's wild. We got a real serious situation going on here, folks. I cannot stress enough to have a plan and be prepared. You know, these people down in Louisiana, they got evacuated at a moment's notice. They couldn't take everything with them, and they can't get back into their houses. And now there's the threat that it could fully explode. I mean, fully explode if 1.5 million barrels of liquid butane gets released into the air and it reaches an ignition source outside. You're looking at a massive explosion unlike anything that's ever happened in the United States. Save a nuclear test. Hang in there, folks. Much love. Crazy times.
I love DUTCHSINSE. He is so good. He is your top weatherman. I'm telling you. One more. Whoop. I shouldn't be doing that. One more. We got like a breaking news from him. He has 28 million views over that on his channel. He should be mainstream. I'm serious. Okay, let's let this load. Heads up, this is breaking news. Just saw this. Here we go. We'll keep it small. Maybe it's clearer if it's small.
Hey everybody, DUTCHSINSE here. 12:45 a.m. Central Time on Tuesday, August 14th, 2012. And I'm here on Earthquake 3D, which is the USGS speed of the most recent earthquakes. You can see it. 7.7 magnitude struck just north of Japan and east of Russia in Russian territory. Let me go ahead and get the stats directly on this. And forgive me guys, I'm on a relative's computer. I'm at a family reunion. By all coincidences, we had been planned for this time in August with everything that's going on. Just ironically, we are kind of far away from any major city. But anyways, Sea of Okhotsk, and that's east-northeast of Voronezh, Russia. 7.7 magnitude, very deep, 388.9 miles, 625 kilometers. So very large earthquake for the region. And let me just take it back a few days, guys, and take you back through the earthquakes, 6.0 and greater. Let's bring it up here. Okay, there we go. Now you can see the last 7 days of earthquakes here. Now you can see the activity over here in Iran. We also had a 6.3 that occurred in China, 6.2 up here in Alaska, and now a 7.7 occur in Russia. You can see the line of earthquakes where they're extending to. I would say the entire northern hemisphere needs to be prepared. That would extend from Washington and Oregon south through North California, also that extend in the New Madrid seismic zone, and as we pass east, we need to be aware also over here in Europe, where we saw previous activity in Italy. Now also, I would also watch down here in the south. We're going to need to see compensation movement around the Ring of Fire. Now that we saw this large earthquake, there have not been any further aftershocks since then at this location.
Oh.
So let me just go ahead and hit refresh one more time, see if any fresh earthquakes have happened. This is an older version of Earthquake 3D. So there you go, folks. Fairly sizable for the region. Have a plan and be prepared. There's just a lot of chatter on the internet about different scenarios going on here. All I can say is that we've seen a tremendous uptick in earthquake activity and other strange news coming forth in the past few days. So have a plan and be prepared. I'll be doing updates as I can. Again, I'm on somebody else's computer. I'm going to have to figure out how I can get my computer in St. Louis and get back really quick to St. Louis. So,
wow. Alrighty then. Alrighty. Heads up. That might have been a pre-shot. That's what I'm saying. Alright, let's turn this around. I had to show you this. My son got upset, saying I shouldn't ask for his tips in my tip jar. So I had to remove that. I don't want anybody to get upset. Must have been some competitor. Alrighty then. Let's go see how this looks now. That was a long beginning. Yes. Let's do this. Here we go. Alright. Alright, we're going to move on. Let's go into... Oh, my goodness, excuse me. Cat hairs in my nose. Let's see here. We'll have to move on to... Let's close this. The Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. Also, whatever moves and comes up first is good for me. Let's see here. Any window that will open. Hang in there. We're gonna get the updated news. Oh my goodness. I feel like I got cat hairs or dog hairs. Something's gotten on me. All right. Let's see what the 2012 countdown clock says today also. Okay, we'll get that one going. Well, that's thinking about that. Let's go back here. Okay, 2012. Okay, I'm sure we have a lot of news going on right now. Whichever window will open, here we go. Let's see if I don't get cut off by the clock. Army worm outbreak threatens China grain output. This is the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. Russian attack submarine sailed in Gulf of Mexico undetected for weeks, U.S. officials say. 62 wildfires blaze through western U.S. states, fanned by strong winds and searing temperatures. Also today, mysterious Louisiana sinkhole raises concerns of explosions and radiation. Also today, new NASA satellites will tighten knowledge of Earth's radiation belts. 1,000 earthquakes recorded in state of Arizona over a 3-year period. Heads up, Arizona, what's going on there? Also, riots engulf troubled district of northern France. The financial decline in Europe continues. Okay. At least you know what's going on in the world. But heads up, we're getting closer to August 17th, the closest that Nibiru is going to get to our, when it comes in to our planet, and then when it swings out, that's September 26th. But in the meanwhile, it's here. Let's see if they're going to mention it. It's here, August 17th, and the quakes are beginning. I don't know if that's going to throw us into pole shift or not. That's wormwood in the Bible. Okay, the Watchers. And you trolls out there that like to say stupid comments, thank you for watching my channel. And that just boosts my views. That's number one. Number two, don't you get any information out of this stuff? I mean, it's for everyone, even trolls. You should have a heads up. I'm giving you the real news. You're not going to see that on CNN, NBC, MSNBC, all those things. Okay, let's see. New active volcano identified as most likely source of huge pumice raft discovered in South Pacific. Also today, thousands of dead fish washing up on beaches of Texas. Also today, nuclear reactor reactor in Connecticut shut down due to excessive seawater temperatures. Also today, very strong magnitude 7.7 earthquake struck Sea of Okhotsk, O-K-H-O-T-S-K. Not hearing about the aftershocks. That might be a pre-shock. Heads up. Polar motion animation. Okay, we went through all this before. Moving on. See, I'm doing the work for you. Some complain, oh, she's showing other people's. Yeah, this is for educational purposes. You know, you see all the pictures and all the other videos, even in the main things have videos that they show. It's news. We're doing the news, okay? You worry about copyrights. Go get my money from Motown. How's that? Go look at the one about my copyrights. That's, you know, the music went triple platinum. Why don't you go ahead and be an advocate for me? How's that one? You want to go troll something? Go troll the people that really, you know, ripped off some people like myself. Go watch my copyright infringement video. It's on here. Gives you all the information. Shows you the copyright in the Library of Congress. Gives you the PA number and everything. Why don't you go advocate that if you want to do something? Okay, let's see. Let's go into E&E News. You know, these people, they give stupid comments. They think they're funny, but they don't understand. When you leave a comment, you have to sign in, right? So you're trackable, right? Remember that. You are trackable one way or another. Doesn't matter. You make up a website, you still got your IP number, right? You guys, heads up. This is for you too, you know. Alright, E&E News. Fukushima. Comparison image shows severe mutation of Japan butterflies, stump-like wings. Reporter. Scary that humans could be affected by mutations too. So heads up, everyone. You trolls too. This was from today. Gunderson, Japan government attempting to cover up health effects. A lot of deformities and cancer will be identified by citizens in next couple of years. If we're all around in the next couple of years from all this radiation crap. NBC, it's pretty clear something has gone wrong with the ecosystem. Japan researcher. Oh, good call, NBC. It's pretty clear something has gone wrong with the ecosystem. Japan researcher. Now, what could that be that went wrong? I wonder if this is in the way. Hold on a minute. This looks like something is flopping around now. That shouldn't be like that. Hopefully that didn't disturb anything. Because we're going live. So, sorry. I might have to do the whole thing over. I hope not. And magnitude 7.7 quake hits the north of Japan, 500 kilometers from Hokkaido. Felt across eastern half of nation. The Australian. The devastating physical and genetic effects of Japan's nuclear disaster are revealed. All mutant butterflies were caught far outside Fukushima evacuation zone. Also, professor who met with Fukushima physicians, thyroid disease is already apparent. Disease, newborns, and Down syndrome still kept secret. Photo after 3:11. What looked like molten fuel leaking out of a gap at top of reactor 1. What looked like molten fuel leaking out of a gap at the top of reactor number 1. Gunderson, yesterday. We've got some never-before-seen video of Unit 4 coming out. My conclusion is it's really serious. I already told you guys when they were messing around with it that they're already it's already done partially what we didn't want it to do. All right, it's out. They released it all into our environment. They don't care. They just don't care. Is that so? What should you, hey you trolls, what should you really be spending your energy on? Your time and your energy? Is it preparing? Or is it going around and I'm going to put something bad on there to show how smart I am and make people laugh and take out my anger on the internet because I have no friends? Is that what you're doing? I think you should be preparing also and lighten up. Just in, here we go, August 14th. Government calls for immediate worst-case analysis of risk to cavern with almost 1 million barrels of butane. Concerned about possible release. Pipeline was bent when massive sinkhole expanded. ABC. Evacuation order for fear of potential radiation in Louisiana parish. Company official, sinkhole could still grow. Sheriff, particularly irritated, he had deputies work at sinkhole while not knowing a possible radiation risk. Do you see what they're doing to everybody? What's really going on, man? Now you're poisoning all the sheriffs. I don't think they're going to be very happy about that, are they? What a lack of communication. Oh, did someone drop the ball in communicating that there might be radiation in there? I guess that was intentional, right? Because someone knew there was radiation in there, and they knew there was people walking around there investigating stuff. Details, and all you news people out there, heads up. You were out there reporting on how I'm breathing the air, walking around the area, probably filming it. Heads up, huh? It doesn't bother you till it hits home, right? Details of sinkholes. Dimensions emerge. 250% size of earlier reports. One area so deep it exceeded length of measuring rope. Nearby bubbling. Official. May be rabbit holes or cracks in earth. Maybe rabbit holes? Or cracks in earth? Isn't that nice? Yeah, go ahead and go out there, measure everything, and do the Fukushima thing, right? It's the same protocol that they're doing at Fukushima. Now you know. No one's going to report on what's really going on till after everyone's been exposed to it. Then maybe a year later they'll tell you. That was maybe 20 million becquerels, you know, and then say maybe it was. That's what happens when you don't have freedom of the press. You realize that, or Freedom of Information Act, or Freedom of Information period, or an environmental protection EPA, an environmental protection agency. Where are you protecting everything? What's going on? So you gotta understand. So I guess if no one's going out there, then you know it's bad because they don't want to be exposed. All right. They can't go out there to do the measurements. They're afraid they're going to be exposed to it. Federal lawsuit. Giant sinkhole may be radioactive. Failed salt cavern may have breached Napoleonville dome's outer wall. With the equipment we have nowadays and the satellites, you would know what's going on, okay? It may be, it may be. But go on and walk around there, and if you smile, it's not going to hurt you. That's what the government, that's what they told them over there at Fukushima. Japanese government, if you smile, it's not going to hurt you. This is horrible. This is horrible, and it's lame. The reporting is lame, and the statements are lame, and it might, you know, is that really the protocol? It might be. Oh, go ahead, go check it out. Oh, yeah, we forgot. Yeah, there might be some radiation over there. You know damn well if there's radiation. And as soon as that thing started cracking and bubbling, you said, everybody back. Uh-oh, so there's going to be a problem. Everybody evacuate. Go now. Don't come back. Better get in there and do what you got to do. Send the satellites overhead. Your drones. What about the drones? Send them in. Send the drones in. Then you'll know what's going on. Go let them take like little readings and probe around in there. That's what you could do. But no. Oh, no. And then the report yesterday. Some investigators conclude, this is a report. This is yesterday. Report. Some investigators conclude sabotage probably triggered 3 Mile Island disaster. How long ago was that? And why did it take this long to... Oh, maybe it was sabotage. No, they're all built on fault lines. They're only supposed to last, what, 20 years? But you just... We can't spend the money on decommissioning them. Oh, no. This is ridiculous. Why do we want to hear about that now? Right now we got other problems going on. Could be sabotage? I don't know. Is Fukushima a sabotage? Yeah, Mother Nature came in and it's sabotaging. Maybe if the planet is alive, maybe the radiation kind of bothers it, hurts it, so it has earthquakes trying to throw it off. You ever realize that? Go digging around. What if the planet is alive and you're digging around in it? What do you think? Just like if we were bacteria or something, the planet's going to protect itself. It's going to react. My goodness. Gee. Alright, I'm not going to keep complaining about this stuff. And you trolls out there, don't you like hearing the real news, or you just dumbed down fluoride heads? And I don't care if another company hired you to make everybody else look bad. That's fine. But does it really make us look bad? You remember, in the entertainment world, bad press is also good press. You realize that? Bad press? Well, you're still getting a name out there, and you're actually, that's good press too. You see? So, you know, if you don't like something, you know, like they say, then just move on and be quiet about it. You know? If this is your only source of news, ooh, do you want to just watch the mainstream? And make fun of people? Oh, she must do this and that. How's that? That's that going to discredit what I'm saying? I'm reporting on other people. You know, I'm going to the main sources and the best sources. And if I show you a video, it's because a lot of people don't have time to scan around the whole internet to see something. I bring it to you. That way you don't have to worry about getting a virus or getting whatever. I'm doing you like a service and a favor, you little trolls. But, you know, it's up to you. You want to sit there and complain. But guess what? While you're wasting time complaining, you should be preparing also. Because most likely you guys are the ones who are going to be standing there gawking, running out of food, running out of everything, and bothering everybody else for help. That's all I got to say. You know, I'm trying to be nice about it, but I read some of the stupidest things that some people would say. But that doesn't matter. Guess what? As soon as you go in there, and it doesn't matter what you put, it goes up on my views. and then you start arguing with each other, that still shows how many views. You get what I'm saying? So you're really not hurting anyone. Doesn't matter about the mumble jumble coming out of your keystrokes. The hard figures are. There's more views there. Now either you're gonna view it, you don't, and even if it's one thing that might help you out, that should make you happy if you learned something new today. Alrighty then. Just remember, people, you know what, you're getting close. Hey, everybody out there that have channels, you know that you're right on and you're getting close when you start getting people start acting like your adversaries. When they tell you, oh no, you can't do this. Oh no, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Are you drinking? Are you doing whatever? Then you know you're getting closer to the truth. Remember that. You don't think people yelled at, they locked up Galileo, didn't they? They locked up a lot of your famous people that discovered things, that said the world is not flat. Remember that. Oh yes, all of them had people, little trolls back then, causing trouble. And they can go down, and they go down in history as being little troll idiots too. You realize that? They go down in history. Later they go, I wish I didn't do that. Look at that. She's actually trying to warn us about something. Oh, how come I didn't see that on the cable TV after Dancing with the Stars or whatever? Not that Dancing with the Stars is a bad thing. It's just, but you gotta watch everything. Watch it all. Don't just stick with one thing. Alright. Well, let's see. Hopefully this didn't get in the way of anything. Let me turn this, close this. I'm sure there's other good news out there. Oh, here we go. There's 128 days, 8 hours, 37 minutes, and 23 seconds before December 21st, 2012, 11:11 Greenwich Mean Time. And today is the 14th. We only have 3 days to find out, and already we got a 7.7 earthquake. If that brown dwarf sun, whatever it is out there, Nibiru, Wormwood, whatever's going on out there, hopefully it doesn't have a bunch of moons dragging across Mars. If you ever look at Mars, something hit it and dragged right across it. But hopefully everything will be alright. All you do is need to be prepared. Alright? That's it. Good to be prepared. Not all news is bad. I'm sure I'll hunt for some good news and some funny news, but the best news right now is just be prepared. And the greatest news is that Jesus loves you, and hopefully you're saved. Alright? So, now it's 2 days down. And there's only 3 to go before the weekend again. You take care and just be prepared. And hopefully me telling you these reports, just because you don't see it, but if you look all around the world, the people that are living the floods and the earthquakes and the volcanoes, why are you going to be exempt from it, you see? So just because you don't see it right now doesn't mean something can't happen. Just be prepared, then go about and watch your Dancing with the Stars and check in over here, check in around everywhere, enjoy everything. Alrighty then. Take care. I'll see you on the flip side tomorrow.